Okay, so if you're following along with the Coding for Dummies program here, we've got quite a bit that we've done already, and then we're kind of moving on to another side of this. But just to review here, a lot of what we've done so far is effectively called backend. We are now on section 5.1. That we're moving on to. So let's review a little bit of what we've done so far. So basically, we got most of our tools ready, which were predominantly VS Code, Mongo, and if you're on a Microsoft device, you got Git Bash as well. We connected to our Mongo database. That worked out great. And then we were able to save a few variables into that database. We made sure that all of our checks were done and that the data does indeed save there. So we've got our back end sort of connected. Now we're going to have to start talking to the website, the front end. And for the front end, we're going to have to go through sections 5 and then 6. So we're going to have to create a server basically. That can connect to, you know, a normal website looking thing that you can use to be able to sort of send information very similar to this. Effectively, this is a Google form. This Google form, when you hit save, it sends information into a server, and that information goes and gets saved in Google's data centers, wherever they save their magical stuff. And then you get it back to you when you look at the responses. You know, a lot of this information tends to be pretty easy to navigate these days. It's not that difficult. So we're going to create a local server out of our file to be able to do that. Then we're going to confirm that we can indeed send information to the browser. And we'll create sort of a very simple file to be able to do that. So let's get going here. This is the magic of coding, and most of the hiccups are usually just you know, things change on you and then you have to relearn how to do something you thought you already knew. Okay, so we've seen this npm install before. This was new packet manager, I think, for anybody who wants to know that. So I like all my npm install commands. Basically, I like to tell myself what I'm doing. So here now, I'm going to put this here first. I'm going to go, okay, npm. I just copy and paste it. But it's npm install express because now I'm doing the front end and I like all my information to be structured in what I've brought in as capability and then what I'm going to be doing. So where do you have to put this? This has to go into your Git Bash terminal. So we're going to get out of our program that's running here. And then we're going to say, okay, bring in this new packet, install express. Wonderful. As it works. There we go. 15 packages have been installed. Oh, just to check for fun. Let's see if this. So this looks like it got bigger. So you know, it looks like one of these files. These files would get updated in some way. Yeah, this file would get updated here. And you know, it would be fun to kind of just go all the way down here and see what the other ones would be. Okay, so we're here. Modules, Rappy. Okay, everybody remember Rappy. And we'll see if the next one gets updated. I've never actually paid attention to this. I've never really needed to manipulate this side. Okay, so now we need to use Express, and you're familiar with this because we've done this before. So basically what we're going to do is create a variable called Express, and that variable, when we use it, will bring in all the tools in the Express toolbox and make them available for us. So we go into the Node.js file here. We create a new const. This is a thing with computers. If you know what they are, awesome. If not, don't let it be an impediment to you understanding how to code. These are commands you have to use that, you know, over time you begin to understand. And, you know, if you're just here because you want to demystify coding, that's great too. you should know that, you know, a lot of times when people program for a while, these become second nature to them, so they don't realize that they are awkward for other people. Something weird's going on here. Const express, require express. Now that color changed differently, and I don't like it, but we'll see if it worked. Okay, so const express, I created a variable. It's called this. It stores this in it. Let's see if I've not seen that color before, but I'm fairly confident it worked. Let's see. I like that color better. What's going? Oh, because now it knows it. Okay, something is odd here. Const oh, you know, and this is my thing, is like I'm very particular about these, because any change that happens in color or visual stuff, as a dyslexic person, I see the color piece first. Okay, so we've installed this, we've done this. Now we're creating something called an app. Basically, we need to activate the express functionality every time we interact with the browser. To achieve this, we will just save the process of activating it into a variable. So that's basically what we're going to do. So every time I then say app, the computer knows that it has to sort of activate the express functionality. And that's basically what it's going to do. Now I'm going to go back down here, and I'm going to go OK. Front end connecting and express server creation. There we go. Okay, so here now, const app, which is equal to express is right here, and then just use the tools that are provided to you properly, and it will be easier for you. Okay, const app. Now we get to create the server, and this is a homage to Marvel. I read somewhere that they created a room, like there's some kind of a room somewhere, or they were coding on something, and Tony Stark says, "I love you 3000," in one of the scenes, and I don't know if it's because they're the people who coded a lot of the visual effects had an emotional connection to it, but I quite loved the idea of it, so I always use 3000 for that reason. I am a big Marvel Universe fan, and I fancy myself a bit of a Tony Stark. So there we go, app listen on 3000, which is a channel. This language here, and this is a language, is effectively a function is being created, and that function means console.log this. So you may not know what this means right now, and that's okay. Right now, all you need to know is that when you have brackets in this manner, that means this is a function. Sometimes you declare a function, you specify it particularly, and sometimes you really don't. And for the purposes of creating this server and running this server, you know, it's fine to just understand that we have called the Express app, and out of that Express app, we are listening on the address 3000 that exists on our computer, and when the function executes, we are going to log for ourselves on the git bash terminal app listening on port 3000. That way I know that everything is open and running. In addition, this part is usually kept at the end, so the placement of this can be finicky, and we're going to find out if it is or is not, but I've said that out loud now because I've noticed that before it is finicky. So I just want to make sure that I've said it, and I'm going to do this here like this. Does placement matter? And now we can all go through this really fun exercise of whether or not it does or doesn't. Similar step for 4.5, we're calling our web browser. Again, the same way we called our database, now we are going to make the phone call to the web browser to open a channel and connect our program node file to the local address on the website. We are creating a three-way call between the three things. And if anybody watches this show, It's got a really great integration of the starting of telephones. Downton Abbey actually shows you how, in the early days of the phone, women used to connect the call, basically. So this step is effectively that step, but instead of like a woman in the back and connecting the terminals, this is sort of happening digitally. I'm sure men did it too, but I've only ever seen. The other show that has a really great one is John Wick. There's a scene in John Wick where like a bunch of women are, connecting those phone calls or what have you, and it's kind of a funny one to watch. Okay, if this information is complex, don't worry about it. Over time, basically, these steps become monotonous. These are not the interesting steps that you want to worry about. These are the steps that, you're just doing to connect everything. This is kind of like in the age of dial-up, when you thankfully had to just click something and then you got connected to the internet, except you are creating the internet locally on your computer. Okay, so let's see if this works out. This is always the moment to cross your fingers. Here, let's see. Okay, so node.js. Oh my god! So the app is listing on port 3000. The Mongo database is open. We are here for fun. Okay, so this is done. And now we can start confirm that we can send some information to the web browser. App.get. Now we're going to start actually coding a few things here from the traditional way of how this works. App.get is a function that is written to be able to go to the website and be able to manipulate it. So this is basically saying, go this function, like I'm starting this server, go and get from this address on my local terminal something. So let's just take this, copy this. Okay, now we're going to see if the placement matters, because I think this has to be at the bottom, but let's see. This is the part that I hate, because you're always just like, where was this? I'm fairly confident. You know what? I'm confident that it had to be there. So now we have saved the activation of the express functionality in a variable we called app. Says, can you identify using this functionality? This is the second time we are using this functionality. We used it before where? App.listen. Let's see if app.listen, where should app.listen be in the node file? After all the roots and middleware have been defined. There we go. So it should be at the end because the placement does matter. This here, app.get, is a root. I'm routing something here now. So this app.listen has to be at the end. Must be at the end. There we go. Conversation finished. Why create errors and then cry about them when you don't have to? Okay, so now we've got this going on. We've got this. Okay, that's been done. Let's do this. This is done. This is done. Okay, now we know that this is working. We are here. Note that we've saved it. Now we have to get out of here, open a web browser file reader, Chrome or Firefox. These are usually the easiest one to open on. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to a local terminal that looks like the internet and kind of start manipulating that in some way. Okay, so let's get out of here. Control C. And restart it. There we are. That's all working. Okie dokie. And now here we want to go on localhost 3000 to see if I can find any of this that should look like this. Okay, so how do we do this? This is a great question. So we've got VS Code here. You can actually do this manually, but there's a tiny little thing here on the bottom right hand corner that says Go Live. You can just click Go Live, and then it takes you here, which is sort of that file. This is not working out the way I was expecting it to work out. The listing directory is different. And so what I was anticipating to happen is sort of seeing this sort of architecture here. So let's go to localhost. I'm going to manually put it in and see what it is. There we go. Oh, copy and paste problems, you guys. Here we are. So you can see HTTP, the address was different. The address should be this. Aha! The contents of the database go here. Well. So now at least we know that we're connected to this. This is the localhost 3000. The database is connected to this. Usually if you're writing a complex program and everything is connected properly, as you will see, we will actually use this Go Live functionality, and then it'll take us directly to that HTML file, but we are not in an HTML file right now. We haven't created one, so we're not going to be able to see it. Okay, so that works perfectly. Thank God. I hate errors. Errors are not my friend because it takes so much time to get there. Okay, so let's do a quick review. What have we learned so far? By running the checks in section 6, we know we're able to reduce potential errors by confirming that we are able to open a channel to the web browser. We've confirmed this by sending a message to our console. We also sent and saw the message on the website, which was running on the local host at, the channel 3000. Our options are you can remove the GET request by commenting it out. I like leaving it in there because then I just know, then I know where the errors are and where my errors are. And so I can kind of go on from that and kind of get to a point where I can, manipulate it. Well, okay, so we're going to end it here. And then in the next section, we're going to start creating folders and a view to be able to sort of manipulate that data directly on the website. On this file, we'll be creating a number of different views for this file. And those views, if you want to read ahead, you can kind of see pictures of it. I've put some pictures. Will look quite similar to sort of, these files here. And then eventually what we'll be able to do is send information, delete information, recall information, do all of that type of functionality that we're used to seeing a normal website be able to do. And that stuff will be coming to you in the next few videos. For today, I think this is good. And if you've got any questions on this stuff, please feel free to drop them in the bottom here in the questions, in the comment sections. This is a live course being taught to somebody right now, so this is sort of being directed for that one individual. I will not be monitoring the comments later on, but for now I am live monitoring them, so if you do have questions, write them down. And this is being recorded for August 5th, 2025. My hope is to kind of create a very easy to follow program that anybody can use, and that there are fewer questions on, and then get somebody who's basically a TA to moderate all of these questions and comments basically. All right. Well, happy coding. Enjoy these. I would encourage you to read them more than once, and I'll drop the website for the lab into the comments as well. Cheers.